Good morning, students and teachers. We are here today to discuss a controversial topic on Trinidad and Tobago's coat of arms. Our team came together today to argue against the removal of the three ships Santa Maria, La Pinta, and La Nina. These three ships represent that Christopher Columbus came to the Caribbean and started an era of European colonization in 1498. This moment is rooted in our history, as it marked the start of the plantation economies, our cultural identity, influences, beliefs, and worldwide notability. Therefore, we see our opponent's argument for the removal of the three ships as the erasing of our history and identity.
Good morning to the principal, Ms. Stacy Nurse, teachers, fellow students, and thanks to our coach, Ms. Michelle Nurse. We have a pro stance in which we agree of the change of the three ships into the steel pan. The steel pan is the key instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, which represents us more than the three ships because who is La Nina, the little girl, La Pinta, the painted one, and Santa Maria, Saint Mary? Does that represent us culturally? No. Does it represent all of us as a religious body? No. Do we all serve Saint Mary? No. We believe that the steel pan is more of a representation of who we are religiously, culturally, and socially. According to Eric Williams' quote, to educate is to emancipate. Now, what do I mean by his quote? His quote is where he encourages us to be free through the power of education, and that encouragement he sparks ambition to create the national instrument, the steel pan. That is now on our coat of arms, which put us on the map.
The three ships in connection with Spain's arrival is seen in our culture even today. The Spanish influenced Trinidad in many ways, including the introduction of Roman Catholicism, food pastels and cassava bread, music parang, soca and calypso, language spoken, architectures and place names like Port of Spain. But can the same be said for the steel pan? You bring strong points on the negative lineage of Spain's arrival. But what identity is the steel pan connected to? Did you know, in the early days of the steel pan, it was associated with gang violence in the slums of Port of Spain during the 1930s and the 1940s. This led to clashes between rival gangs and caused street fights or other violence during carnival or other events.
Former Attorney General Gavin Nicholas has stated that the simple change on the coat of arms will involve replacing the old coat of arms on all government buildings and official stationery, which regardless of the exact number, it may not have been cheap. Is this change so necessary to risk the economy and the well-being of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? As stated, the steel pan was used to represent unique music of justice but also crime, while the three ships made us known and able to frequently trade with foreign countries and boosting the economy.
We agree that there was a Spanish influence, but it also indicates what era was imposed on us. What role did Columbus or the three ships play in society? Is it the role that was imposed on us? The violence, forced religion during the conquest, the pattern of violence that is now plaguing our community or country that was glorified on the coat of arms? What role did it exactly play in our country or community? What was Columbus's purpose? Was it to bring us together culturally or name the streets? Absolutely not. The key words are violence, slavery, diseases, and oppression. Do I have to say more? Was it even for trade? Compared to other Caribbean islands, Trinidad was not heavily involved in the early transatlantic trade. The Spanish focused more on the other colonies like Hispaniola and Cuba. In the 15th and 16th century, Trinidad's direct benefit from trade was limited due to its status as a relatively sparsely populated and underdeveloped Spanish colony. However, the seed of the future plantation development was sown, particularly in the introduction of crops like sugar. The Spanish economy began to shift towards agriculture with the potential for future generations in goods like sugar, cocoa, and cotton. But the full inspiration of trade, especially through the transatlantic slave trade, would be felt more significantly in the 17th and 18th century. The Spanish did introduce crops like sugar, which would later become the mainstay of the island's economy. The potentials for trade in these crops was established during this period. The shift in the plantation economy was significant with the arrival of the French.
On the other side of the coin, the free ships also bring a memory of a pitiful past. But this is not necessarily a negative thing to represent on a national emblem. Our history of becoming a nation is one to inspire. The presence of the free ships on the coat of arms represents our strength and resilience. As our motto already reinforces this, together we aspire, together we achieve. This quote-unquote negative symbol on such an important national marker can boost morale of citizens in Trinidad and Tobago and remind us of where we rose from and what was made achievable through togetherness and what we can aspire towards because of what we already overcame.
The main point is the three ships serve as a way to remember our past and a reminder of the nation's journey, also while acknowledging the difficulties and issues of colonization and its impact, an impact that in honesty has been as positive as it has been negative. One thing for sure, the three ships hold more of a cultural meaning for Trinidad and Tobago, and by the extension of the entire Caribbean.
Erasing history is like erasing a lifetime of who we are. History serves as a reminder of the past, but should also point us to the future as well. By placing the three ships on the steel pan, we have done just that. History here was not erased, but improved and enhanced to serve as a reminder of the past that once enslaved us, but point to the liberty and freedom we now embrace. No longer enslaved, no longer forced to believe anything more than what is true. The steel pan now serves as a reminder of all that we once were, all that we aspire to be, and all that we can achieve. It represents the creativity and the unity of a people who have a past, but are not bound by the sad memories the three ships inherit. Yes, that time of the three ships contributed to our name, Trinidad, and colonization brought diversity, but as that time defined us entirely, our unity, our creativity. Our steel pan is an image of our cultural independence and futuristic achievements that ring out song of talent, unity, freedom, and justice. It represents us all, our achievements, our purpose for future, and yes, our history.